The Googleyness, intellectual humility answer that sounds great, but fails the hiring committee member. The reason most candidates get this wrong is that they describe changing a small implementation detail and call it humility, when the hiring committee is specifically waiting to hear you explain why your original thinking was wrong, not just what you swapped out. The question is, tell me about a time you changed your architectural approach based on evidence or peer feedback. This probes Googleyness, specifically intellectual humility, which at Google means the ability to update your mental model when the evidence demands it, not just when it is convenient. What the interviewer is actually listening for is whether you can explain the flaw in your own reasoning first before you ever describe what you changed. Here is how most candidates answer this question about changing their architectural approach.
We were building a batch ingestion pipeline to load event data into our warehouse nightly. I had designed it around a scheduled job that pulled full table snapshots. During a design review, a colleague pointed out that the snapshot approach would get expensive as the table grew. I agreed, and we switched to an incremental load using a watermark timestamp. The migration went smoothly. We reduced processing time by about 30%, and storage costs came down. It was a good call-out, and I was glad we caught it before it became a bigger problem.
Candidate narrates what changed, never why their original model was flawed. Scope is narrow. One pipeline, one reviewer, no cross-team signal. 30% improvement claimed, but no baseline or measurement method given. No evidence of updated mental model. Reads as a routine design review tweak. Here is what I am writing in the debrief right now. Item 1. Candidate describes a change but never articulates why their original reasoning was wrong. Item 2. Pivot is implementation level. Full snapshot to incremental load is routine tuning, not architectural rethinking. Item 3. No evidence the candidate updated a broader mental model or design heuristic going forward. Item 4. Metric offered without methodology. 30% improvement is unverifiable and unexplained. Verdict. Does not demonstrate Googleyness, intellectual humility. Same question, same technical domain. Listen to how this candidate opens with what they got wrong before they ever mention what they changed.
I had designed a data flow streaming pipeline, assuming downstream consumers could tolerate eventual consistency. I thought near real-time was good enough, and that adding exactly once guarantees would be over-engineering at our scale. 2 months in, a peer on the analytics team showed me query results that were silently double-counting events during data flow worker restarts. I had been wrong about the failure mode. I assumed restarts were rare enough not to matter, but I had never actually measured restart frequency under our traffic patterns. Once I saw the data, we redesigned the pipeline around idempotent writes using a deduplication key in BigQuery. We also added a reconciliation job that compared source counts to warehouse counts every hour. Late arriving event discrepancies dropped from roughly 4% to under 0.1%. More importantly, I updated my default assumption for any stateful streaming pipeline. Exactly once is the baseline, not the optimization.
Candidate leads with the flaw in their own reasoning, not just the outcome. Architectural pivot is genuine. Exactly once semantics, not a config tweak. Measurable data quality impact cited with a specific before and after metric. Candidate articulates an updated mental model they now apply across future designs. Notice what changed. The candidate explained the flaw in their own assumption first, and then showed it changed how they approach every pipeline after this one. Item 1. Candidate explicitly names the flawed assumption in their original design. Cognitive depth visible. Item 2. Pivot is architectural. Exactly once guarantees an idempotent write strategy, not a parameter change. Item 3. Data quality improvement is specific and measured. 4% to under 0.1% discrepancy rate. Item 4. Candidate extracts a transferable design heuristic and applies it going forward. genuine model update. Verdict, strong signal, strong hire. Before your loop, run your story through these 3 questions. Question 1. Can you name the exact assumption in your original design that was wrong? If you cannot, you are describing a change, not intellectual humility. Question 2. Was the pivot a real architectural decision or a routine configuration adjustment? If a junior engineer would have caught it in code review, the hiring committee will not count it. Question 3. Did this change how you approach similar design decisions going forward? Without a transferred heuristic, you showed you fixed a bug. Not that you updated your thinking. If your story fails all 3, you are not demonstrating Googleyness. You are narrating your changelog. How do your real stories score? Get a personalized report scored against the interview rubric Google uses for your role. Find it at interview101.com.